Hey there. So I wanted to capture some thoughts around fear, and in particular, the fears that I oftentimes see holding coaches back from taking action. Now, I think there are lots of reasons why we don't take action. And by taking action, I mean like trying things that we want to try. A large body of my work is really rebelling against stories that there is one right way to do something, that there are things you should do to be a coach or to build your coaching practice. So I think one of the reasons why you might not be taking action is because the path that you think you should be going down is actually not the right fit for you. And that's the subject of the masterclass I teach. That's the subject of a lot of my conversations around finding a path that's the right fit for you, that maximizes your strengths and values, that might feel a little bit rebellious against the rules and the constriction of the coaching industrial complex. But if you're not doing something that you think you should be doing, it's just very possible that that's not the right thing for you to be doing based on how you like to work in your superpower. So let's find a more creative way. And that's really at the heart of my work, is helping coaches find more creative and interesting and fun and spacious ways of shining your light, letting people know what you're up to, inviting people to have coaching experiences with you, practicing, experimenting, playing, all of that stuff. And another big thing that I see holding coaches back, it holds me back, so I am very much a part of this conversation, is fear. And I'm going to write it down. I'm worried that this is backwards, so I'm going to ask you to just use your imagination. Fear. And when I asked, I see this showing up a lot when it's like, hey, what if I'll put an idea on the table, and I don't put them on the table for anyone to pick up, but someone will have an idea. They'll be like, I really want to blank. I really want to run a workshop, or I really want to tell more people what I'm up to. I really want to send more signals out into the world and shine my light. But what if, and what if is usually code for a fear. What if no one shows up? Fear of rejection. What if I can't deliver what I say I'm going to do, right? I call that like fear of incompetence or fear of failure. A lot of like, what if I fail? Which could be a whole other conversation of what actually failure means. Fear of success. What if everyone comes? What if people say yes? Fear of being seen. This sometimes shows up as like, well, I can't post about it on Facebook because my aunt might see it, and my aunt is really judgmental. So I don't want this person out there to see what I'm up to because they might judge me. So fear of judgment. The list goes on and on. We could pick apart one fear. We could take this little fear right here and we could work on it. And guess what? The minute we get rid of it, another one's going to take its place. Because that's what fears do. That's what our mind does. Part of what our mind does is create this experience of fear and this energy of fear because it's trying to keep us safe, right? It's been there forever. It's going to stick around. So the fears aren't going anywhere. And so I ask myself, as I see just brilliant, awesome, incredible coaches like you come up with ideas, want to try things, but behind it is like, but what if? I asked myself, how can I help you with this whole fear question? And one way that we could do that is we could, like I said, kind of just look at each fear. Like I could host a workshop, how to handle your fears of being seen, or how to handle your fear of judgment. We could take one fear at a time and we could look at it and do whatever we might do with it. And then it's gone. And then, like I said, another one's going to show up. So I've been trying to zoom out a little bit, and I've come up with this metaphor. I hope that it helps you. I don't know if you've ever been to the beach, but there are a few constants when you go to the beach. One, there's usually water, which is what makes it a beach, and there's sand. If you don't want to deal with sand, you likely just don't go to the beach, because sand is a given at the beach. Now again, you might be like, no, I know rocky beaches, but just play along. Sand is a given at the beach. And there's nothing really you can do about it, right? The sand is going to be there. It is very likely going to stick to you in certain ways. No matter how much brushing off you do or rinsing off, you're likely to get in the car and realize there's still a little bit of sand on your feet or on your back or stuck to your sunscreen. When you take a shower that night, you might find sand in your hair. It's just part of the deal. And so when I think about fears, I'm like, they're kind of like sand. Anytime we want to try something new, fears are along for the ride. They're just going to be there because, again, that's what our mind does. It wants to keep us safe. Don't try anything new. Stick to the status quo. So if creating a coaching practice, if evolving and emerging a coaching ecosystem is something you want for yourself and it feels new, I want you to consider the possibility that the fears are just going to be there. And so the bigger question, I think more important than what do we do with each individual grain of sand, right? We're not going to, well, I got to take this one off and then that one off. It's just, there's sand. What is your approach? What is your attitude about that? What is your mindset? What is your relationship like to fears being there all the time? What do you do? Now, for me, and my answer isn't the right answer. I'll just share what has been helpful for me. One, accepting and this metaphor has been very helpful for me. Just kind of being like, yeah, fears are here. I am afraid you're watching this video and you're not going to like it, right? What if you don't like it? What if you're like, this is dumb? Okay. And I just acknowledge it. I'm like, yeah, because this is new. It's a new idea. I don't know how people are going to react. So having that acceptance of and compassion for the fear helps me continue to move forward, even as I know it's just in the passenger seat or the back seat with me all the time. It's along for the ride. I might as well just keep driving. The second thing that I have found very helpful, and I have to credit Christy Blazik for this, she mentioned it the other day, is to really lean on curiosity. Lean on, when you're afraid of something happening, like, what if no one comes to my workshop? What if I schedule it and no one comes? The first thing is like fear. What if no one comes? Ugh. I like to then say, I don't know. What if no one comes? Right? Shift into curiosity. What if I put this idea out there and it's rejected? I don't know. Who are you going to be? What will happen to you if that happens? Let's get curious. Let's go find out. I think this is a reflection too of my adventure value, right? Adventure for me is like not knowing what's going to happen, but still going down the path. So curiosity could be a really cool companion for you to have. You've got fear and you've got curiosity. And this one's going to say, but what if no one likes your post? And this person's going to say, I don't know. Let's go find out. So I wanted to put those two ideas on the table. I wanted to just invite your reflections. What have you heard in this? How do you handle fear? How would you coach a client through their fear? Imagine you're working with someone, and you will, who's like, I really want to do this, but I'm really afraid of what my mom's going to say. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, right? Fear of being alone, whatever it is. How do you handle it? And what can we do that is bigger than just tackling one at a time? Because we can tackle one at a time, but there's always going to be another one coming in the back. So what is your more general approach to fear? And are you applying those things to your own process? Because I know the fear is going to be there. I know. And I'm with you, and I feel them too. And on the other side of it is where I believe a lot of learning and growth and discovery happens, and helping other people. On the other side of your fear is oftentimes helping another person, which is why we're all here. So I welcome your thoughts. Please share them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. If you know someone who could be served by this conversation, please consider sharing the video. And I'll see you next time.